Yeah, okay. We're going to give you a little blog about Black British history because I've been going on YouTube looking for content for the website platinumtears.com. I'm getting a lot of people talking about their experience in Black Britain. And there's not much out there. There's a few notable exceptions. People like the Black Power Sticks. He drops a lot of knowledge. People need to stop sleeping on him. He's not getting enough views in my opinion. Hopefully I'm going to get him some more views. We help promote it. But it's what he's saying which is more important, because no one gets paid off YouTube views. So you got all these sites running around bragging about how much views they got. You didn't make no money, you just made money for other people. Wow. Anyway, regardless of that, I'm going back to the Black British history. Now, I think, and a lot of these people that I'm assuming that are watching this as well, are a bit younger than me. So I'm going to go back to the 1980s, when the rasta movement was at its strongest in Black Britain. When you had white people dreading up their hairs as well, because it brought us all together. Now, more importantly, it brought us as black people together. We had local elders, we had halls, we had assemblies where we go and learn about the 12 tribes of Israel, now Bingi, learn about Selassie, go and chant his words, beat the drums, have a whole, you just felt like part of a community. I grew up in a predominantly black area. I didn't have any white friends really growing up. Something that obviously affected me growing up when I was older, because unlike a lot of my other friends who I met older, I found it harder to relate to white people because I grew up with a negative connotation of what a white person would be, is and will be. That's something that I'm still coming to terms with. What I would like to say though is, when we had that strong community background, we had the wars, we had people like the Untouchables, we had the Ghetto Boys, TGB, they're the older ones. We had the 28s coming up as well, they was the youngers back then. But one thing we all had was something in common, that if it got out of hand, we had elders that will go and be able to sort this out and whatever. They haven't got a lot of that now. And that was all stemmed from the Rasta community, the togetherness. And I think that as black Caribbean people, Jamaican, Trinidadian, Bajan, Antiguan, St. Lucian, Dominican, Barbadian, if I've missed anything out, they're smallies. I'm only joking, people get emotional about that comment. But we're really falling behind the Africans, really falling behind them. They didn't come through half of the struggles that we had to do to build a community here, but then now they've come and they've taken a lot of opportunities away from us. Now my wife is African, before everyone starts thinking that I'm African bashing, so know that it's never not that. But I'm saying the one thing that did, the glue that held the black community back together back in the days, was the Rasta community. You ask any elder and they will tell you that. There was always the soul glow sellout people that always wanted to be white and never really embraced their blackness, and was always on the funk and stuff. And there was the hardcore Rastas with the grey hairs and the locks flowing, the red, gold and green attire, everything. And they was our elders. And through the 80s to the early 90s, it was a much better time to be black British. And then it just seemed to change after a while. I mean, obviously they closed down all of the halls. A lot of the Rastas realised that Selassie was going to come, but not when they thought it was, cut off their hair and got jobs as plumbers and electricians and decorators. Because once you believe that you're living a certain lifestyle and this way is going to provide for you, when you lose faith, you're already 22, 23, you haven't got much to fall back on. And that's what hurt us in a way, because our community was stronger, it was less disrespectful, we was all tight. Each black person was the brothers. We used to have the African medallions growing up, like that's my brother. No matter what, that's my brother, we would stick together. We haven't got that anymore. And what the Africans did come is, they sidewind all of the togetherness and went straight into corporate Britain, made an impact, made a lot of money and surpassed us. And the funny thing about it now is, the majority of drama and things that are going on now with the black community are stemming from these African people's children. Because there's a lot more of them than us, it seems. And they're the ones that are more hype and more, they haven't got nothing to fall back on to say, like, yes, this is that, and there was this community. They just want to go to war with everyone. A lot of that comes through tribal things. They've been warring for years and years. And so what happened is we lost our community leaders. The Africans got more money than us, and then their kids are growing up not wanting to be like them, because not wanting to be seen as sellouts, wanting to be down, and have turned around and made up more gangs than ever needed to be, because there didn't used to be that much gangs in London, black gangs. It was, like I said, there was Ghetto Boys, Peckham Boys, 28s. There was North London had the Seven Sisters, and Tottenham Boys, that was their lot. East London had a few Qs, but they were more par with South London, so it was their own little beast, but it wasn't really that. And there was Harlesden. And there's gangs everywhere, multi-racial gangs everywhere, that wouldn't have been there if the Rasta community had stayed to the point where it should have stayed and wasn't destroyed by the white man.